this day, Caleb has a normal life as a university student. He has so many new friends that he never thought he would ever make, and even though life has lost its bright colors of childhood, it was still shiny enough to guide him into the future. However, every now and then, Caleb can't help but remember a ghost from the past that broke him. Once upon a time, a younger Caleb was texting a friend on Facebook. This friend introduced him to a chat group where he met new people. However, among all those new people he met, there was one person that stood out from the others. This person was Johan. Caleb and Johan became very good friends. Despite his weirdness, Caleb still accepted him as one of his best friends along church and ranger. Johan taught Caleb things that he didn't know and even introduced him to a church. And Caleb, despite being an atheist, he truly loved that church because it felt so different from the rest, and he never felt so welcomed. Not only did he befriended the people from the church, but Caleb also befriended one of Johan's former classmates called Abraham, who in the present is one of Caleb's best friends. Caleb trusted Johan completely, but Johan was very hard to deal with. He was narcissistic, he had mild anger issues, and he was so obsessed with perfection. But despite all of this, Caleb still accepted him for who he was, because he didn't thought it was a very big problem at the beginning. He went so far as to gift Johan with Super Mario Galaxy for his birthday, a very special game for Caleb that he had owned since his childhood, passing it down to his new best friend. Just like that, a year of friendship has passed, and Caleb felt that his life had never been so bright before. Not only because he was still in school and life was very simple with his best friends, Turk, Ranger, and the new classmate Johan, who changed schools, but also of his new friends and routine with the church. However, that was before everything started to fall apart. It all started when Shrek, joking around with Johan, made a picture of Johan but bald. A very funny meme to our friend circle. But Johan did not like it at all, and instead of talking like normal people, he decided to insult and dox Shrek. A very serious crime. Before he posted his location online, Johan told Caleb about his little plan. Caleb was horrified, and for the first time in the relationship, the goofy and mischievous Caleb did not laugh. Caleb, very angry, told Johan to erase those messages and apologize to Turk, which he did. Johan and Turk worked it out, but since that day, Caleb never saw Johan with the same eyes again. He started to look more closely at his behavior, and he noticed that this was not the Johan he had met 1 year ago. His narcissistic tendencies increased drastically to the point that he started to say stuff like, "I see those people as tools," and identify himself as Homelander from The Boys, which made Caleb very uncomfortable around Johan. Caleb tested Abraham, who at this point was a very close friend with Caleb, and Caleb asked him if he also noticed the way Johan behaves. And indeed, Abraham also noticed it, which made Caleb feel more uncomfortable to the point that he no longer liked to be around Johan. The church, which was once a place with a very light environment, turned heavy the moment Johan came in. It was agonizing, but Caleb still wanted to give him another chance. He still had faith for him. He still had faith for his friend until the day of Caleb's birthday came. The day that will define their friendship forever. Caleb, as usual, invited his best friends. Even though Turk could not assist, Johan and Rangel assisted to the birthday party. And for Caleb's surprise, Johan did not act like an asshole. Caleb felt so much relief and happiness because that night was going awesome. It was going very well. Both Johan and Rangel stayed at Caleb's house for the night. As usual in these slumber parties, however, Caleb slept earlier since he was too tired, leaving Rangel and Johan awake. In the morning, a very surreal and bizarre scene would take place. The first thing that Caleb saw that morning was Rangel's face, which scared the out of Caleb since he was supposed to be sleeping down on the mattress, not beside him on the same bed. The weirdness of the situation was instantly evaporated the moment Rangel spoke the truth of that night. Caleb fell asleep first, as it was mentioned earlier. Rangel and Johan were still awake, and Johan, out of nowhere, started to yell and throw threats at Rangel, asking stuff like, "Do you think you are better than me? Do you think you are superior than me?" Because Rangel beat him on a Dragon Ball game? Oh wow. I remember exactly how I felt. Caleb felt devastated, betrayed, and deceived. Not only because he truly believed that in this single night Johan had changed, but also because he chose the most special day to make a drama about a stupid video game. I felt dumb. Of course, he can't change. My uncle once said that a narcissist can't change what he is. I never understood what he meant, but now that I experienced it, he was always right. The day after in the church, Johann prepared a surprise party for Caleb for his birthday, which he enjoyed along with his friends from the church. Caleb really liked that surprise, but he was not doing well emotionally after what happened in his birthday. After the party, Johann started to ask Caleb about Rangel, as if he already knew that Rangel told everything. This made Caleb believe that Johann did all of this party just to convince Caleb or something like that. He doesn't know. But Caleb was too direct and said yes, admitting that he believed Rangel, which outraged Johann for some reason. The argument was about to explode until the priest of the church came from behind and hugged them both. Caleb was just as outraged as Johann from inside by his audacity of feeling indignant when he was the one who started it all, and also didn't have even tried to convince Caleb or even tell him his version of the story. He did nothing. Whatever. After that day, Rangel called Caleb and told him what happened in the school. Johann had followed Rangel's mom and tried to scare her. Rangel defended his mother, but Johann said something that utterly terrified Caleb. I still remember to this day what I felt the instant I heard those words. A heavy feeling in my chest that lasted for days. Goosebumps, as if a ghost faced through me, and overwhelming paranoia. I have never been so afraid in my entire life, and not because of him, but for my mother. I barely slept. I felt paranoid whenever I was outside. I started to keep an eye on my mother, and I felt alone because I never told anyone how I felt. I am not the kind of man who likes to talk about my problems. And I was very selfless, and I did not want to put my friends into trouble. And it was it felt like it felt like my own personal hell. And nothing happened. Weird. Noticing this, Caleb simply couldn't take it anymore and decided to test Johann in Facebook, in that same chat group where he met him. He felt so disappointed, and the friendship officially ended that day. Johan, instead of, I don't know, talking it out, no. Johan insulted Caleb and blocked him from all social medias. I could not care less about this. That day felt like liberation for Caleb. Caleb never visited that church again, which was the thing that hurt him the most in this story because he really loved that church. He really appreciated the kind people of the church, the friends he made, the people that cared for him, the people that made him feel welcome, the gentle priest who once listened to him. He misses them. I miss them so badly. And that's it. That is my tragic, edgy backstory. But to be honest, I still don't regret anything. Yes, that person may have been an asshole. He may have hurt me so much in the past. He may have been a narcissistic piece of shit and a very pathetic person in general. But I saw more than that. He was my friend after all, and deep in my heart, I thank him for everything. Because if it hadn't been for him, I would probably never be the person I am now. And I also would never have met one of my best friends in the present, Abraham, a person which I appreciate at the bottom of my heart, which was the reason that everything in this story is not bad. I mean, yeah, I lost the church, I lost my best friend, but I met so many fantastic people, and I am not going to lie, I miss him. I deeply miss the person he used to be before all of this bullshit. But crying for the past won't change anything. Sometimes I think to myself, maybe I did something wrong, maybe I should have handled things better, maybe I should have listened to him. But seriously, how is that going to help me? How is blaming myself going to help me in the present? I can do nothing but simply be grateful. I mean, life has so many obstacles, but once you pass over those obstacles, you will grow stronger as a person, better as a person. In the eyes of my friends, I haven't changed so much from 2 years ago, but when I look back at how I was at that time, I realize how far I have gone. And I can't help but think that none of this would have happened if it wasn't for him. I regret nothing. Yes, I lost too many things on my way here, but those things are nothing compared to what I have now. My friends, Abraham, new friends, my university career, the things that I used to have in the past can't even compare to what I have now. A family. I don't know where he is now. The last time I heard about him was 2 months ago. Someone told me that he was in the USA. and good luck. I wish him the greatest success of his life, so he doesn't have the necessity to come back to Venezuela. Despite all of this, the only thing that I have to say to that person who once hurt me is thank you. Thank you for making me stronger. Thank you for making me a better person. And thank you for everything that I learned from you.